Hey, welcome back. I hope you're all doing good. And it's time for another ASMR video. It's almost winter, so we know what that means. Colder weather. So it's perfect because I'm going to take you into the dream world. You're going to be dreaming of going to Mount Everest, and you are going to climb that mountain. You are going to climb Mount Everest straight from this dream. So you don't have to go there physically. You just have to be in your bed and imagine it. It's gonna be a cold but exciting journey. Don't worry. You're gonna be having breaks along the way. That's why there's gonna be camps. So in the mountain on Mount Everest, you'll have camps, and here you're gonna have ASMR tingle breaks as your camps. So, are you ready? I hope so. Hop in your beds, eyes closed. Let's get right into it. Now you are in the dream world, and right now you find yourself right at base camp. So there's a lot of tents, orange, yellow tents, each pitched in hard snow / ice. And it is cold, and it's already a bit hard to breathe. You are approximately 5,000 meters in altitude. So, I'm going to explain you to the journey towards Everest. So, you start at the base camp and you slowly make your way up the mountain. And there are going to be 4 camps, like checkpoints, each giving you supplies that will help you climb the mountain. It's going to help you climb Mount Everest. So, you are in base camp, and you are so excited to climb the mountain. So, here you go. You have left base camp. So as you're climbing, you are faced with the first obstacle, which is a very long path. And for the next minute or so, or few minutes, you're going to be experiencing sounds as if you're walking on icy snow. So here you go. Your climb towards the summit of Mount Everest has barely begun. As you are climbing, you could hear the noise of snow and the wind. And it is cold, it is shivering, and you are now ascending. You're getting there. You could see the mountain up ahead of you. This giant mountain, Mount Everest, is also known as the roof of the world. It is situated at around 8,848 meters above sea level. That is where the summit is. That's how high the summit is. This mountain is based upon Nepal bordering Tibet. And climbing that mountain requires persistent endurance and stamina. So you don't have to climb the mountain physically, you can just climb it from your bed, in your head. So you continue the climb. But as you're getting closer and closer to the summit, you notice the very first challenge. So the first challenge that you have to get through is known as the Kumbu Ice Fall or something. It has this name. It is hard to pronounce it, but essentially it's just rugged terrain with lots of crevasses. So you'll need to cross it and traverse it using ladders. But here you could traverse it with imaginary ladders. So here we go. You should be ready to traverse through the ice fall. So I hope you're ready. Here we go. This is a very dangerous terrain. This is an area that you'll have to traverse because if you fall, you're going to be doomed. So you really have to be careful here. This is one of the challenges of climbing Everest. And as you are traversing through the ice falls, you are hearing this snow, this crushed ice. Sounds amazing, right? Okay, you may seem a bit exhausted here, so you just want to admire the beautiful nature of Mount Everest. The air is biting cold, but you are looking at the mountain. It's so large and beautiful. You can't believe that the mountain is so high that it takes your breath away. Literally. Okay. You continue on. There's this very big crevasse, and this one requires a lot of concentration, so you have to be very careful in this zone. But it is just about to get deep, so you'll have to be ready. So here we go. You ready? Concentrate on the ladder crossing. This ladder can shake, so boom. You just have to remember, don't look down. Just look on whatever that's ahead of you. You're halfway there. should be good right now. Okay. You have successfully crossed the hardest crevasse of the ice falls. This glacier has been moving ever so slightly day by day, and the terrain changes. So now you are getting closer and closer to the first camp. And this is called Camp 1. And it's just a few 100 meters away. So here you go. Just keep walking and ascending. And there we are. You have successfully reached Camp 1. So here at the first camp, you will need to rest a little bit because the higher you go up the Mount Everest, like the higher you go up any mountain, the air will get thinner. So you'll have to rest. So the higher you climb on Everest, it'll only get harder. But because of the altitude, that will cause your air to breathe less. You'll be starting to struggle to breathe. So now you are at Camp 1. So it's time for a 2-minute trigger break. So here you'll get to practice and acclimatize the mountain. So imagine yourself feel the air getting thin in this area. Air is precious. This color is blue. It's the color of the sky that surrounds Mount Everest. Nothing pierces through the sky. I mean, only Everest. Nothing but Everest can pierce through the sky in such amount. Treat this as your oxygen tank, so you'll need to carry on oxygen the higher up you go. Okay, you should be ready to continue the ascent closer to the summit of Everest. So are you ready? Are you ready to leave Camp 1? I'm sure you are. So without hesitation, you continue to climb. Once again, the air is cold. The air is very cold, and this time the wind is getting more intense. Mount Everest is no easy feat, but here in this video, making it possible for you to reach the summit. You just need to enjoy the experience. You are enjoying the imaginary snow crushing as you walk up the mountain. You're halfway there to the second camp. You may be getting closer, but here, you're going to be starting to struggle to breathe. So now, because soon as you go past Camp 2, Camp 3, and Camp 4, you're going to need to use a supplementary oxygen tank. Like I said, this will be your oxygen tank. So, you continue your climb up the mountain. You're almost at Camp 2. Just a few hundred meters left. Oh my god, you have reached Camp 2. And here, as you look up, you could see the peak of Everest in much more detail. This mountain looks much bigger than before. That's because you're much closer to the top. We are in Camp 2. And now, you need to have more rest. So here is another ASMR trigger break. Okay. Here you'll need to acclimatize more because the air is a lot more thinner. So here we go. Oxygen is precious. That's what makes life possible on Earth. And Everest is just a test. Mount Everest is just proving that a world without oxygen is impossible. This is not an easy feat, but you're almost halfway up the mountain. Could feel the oxygen. Here you go. Okay, you should be ready to leave Camp 2. Now, you are making your ascent to Camp 3. This looks like a shorter route, but still, you'll have to breathe a bit more frequently because the air is thinner. And it's time for you to ascend. Okay, you're gonna need to breathe more. So, ooh. You could feel the air getting thinner now. It is more apparent. Okay, this slope is really steep because you're now going up the mountain literally. Because before, between camp, the very first camp, base camp, and Camp 1, the slope has been more gradual. Now the slope is more steeper. So you are taking a few pauses. So you take a pause because you want to regain back your stamina. Okay, your pause is ended. You continue your climb. You're getting closer and closer to camp number 3. Almost there. You're almost at Camp 3. You're getting closer. And before you know it, you have reached Camp 3. Treat this as a mini applause for reaching Camp number 3. So here we are at Camp 3, Camp number 3, towards Mount Everest summit. So here, you're gonna need oxygen at this point, definitely. So from now on, you're going to need an oxygen tank. I've got one here. Let's refill this with oxygen. In real life, there's a little bit of CO2 or carbon dioxide, but just assume that in this camp, you're refilling your oxygen tanks. So here we go. Okay, so your oxygen tank is full. Now you are ready to climb. But before you are ready, you're gonna just take 30 seconds of break just in case and admire at the camp. Even though you're ready, you're still making sure by taking an extra 30 seconds. Alright, now you are ready to continue your ascent. So, you ready? Here we go. Here you are encountering more hard ice, so you'll have to watch out. The air here is getting thinner and thinner because you are above 7,000 meters. And now you are on your way up to camp number 4. As you breathe in supplementary oxygen, just make sure you have enough oxygen in your tank. In real life, for most people, you will not make it to the top. You'll require an oxygen tank because the air is so thin. You're almost at the last camp. Almost there. Oh my gosh. Within a few moments, you have reached the very last camp. You're so close to the summit right now. You're getting so close. This camp is the last checkpoint before you make your final push to the summit of Mount Everest. So here, you'll need a longer break. You'll need a bit of rest here because you're gonna need it before you make your final push. So take in 2 more minutes, or 3 even, for just tingles. You could feel a lot more wind as you rest a bit. trying to practice your breathing because the air is so thin on Everest. Trying to rub your hands to keep yourself warm. Alright, you should be ready to make your final push towards the summit of Mount Everest. You should be very excited. Oh my gosh. And as you look outside your imaginary tent, you could see the summit. It's right over there. It's right at the tip. You're literally on the shoulder of Mount Everest. Okay. So here you'll need a lot more oxygen. So to make things safe, you're gonna bring in 2 imaginary tanks of oxygen. We've got 2 of them here. So it's time to blow them up. Fill them up before you start your final push. Are you ready? That is 1 oxygen tank. Hear that loud squeeze? That is it. Okay, it's better to have 2 than 1 oxygen tank. So you're ready to make your final push? I hope you are. So let's do it. You go out of your tent and you start to climb up the shoulder of Everest. The air is so thick, thin air. Thin right now. All of the other camps have literally vanished into thin air. You know what I mean? Thin air. You're getting there. You're breathing more rapidly. The air at this point is only 1/3. The oxygen is 1/3 at the summit than at sea level. Here you go. You're climbing up this slope ever so slowly. The summit is getting closer and closer. Oh my gosh, you almost slipped. Oh my god. Ooh, you have to be very careful. Don't get too excited because you're still having to climb. You try to get back up. as you look below you, you notice the ice is slippery, so you almost slept, but thankfully you have managed to pick yourself back up. It's time to continue the final push. You're using up your oxygen, but it doesn't matter. You're making your final push. So as you make your way closer to the summit, there's this one final obstacle left. It's called the Hillary Step. It's basically a vertical wall which you'll have to climb. And this is literally the hardest challenge. So are you ready to climb the Hillary Step? I am sure you are. Here we go. You're halfway up the Hillary Step. You're almost there. Now you're at the top of Hillary Step, and you know what's in front of you? The summit. It's so close now. You're literally just a few hundred feet. Less than 100 meters to go. Here we go, almost there. You're so close, man. Very close to the summit. 10 more meters left to go. So close. 5 more meters. Okay, you ready? 10 more steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you have it. Congratulations. You have reached the roof of the world of Mount Everest. That is the summit, sitting around 8,848 meters above sea level. That is you on the top of this imaginary Mount Everest. You can celebrate now in your bed. So, as you look around, you see all of the big mountains that are around you, and the sky is very beautiful. All the clouds are under you, because a lot of the clouds don't reach as high as Everest. You could feel the wind. You could feel the wind that's blowing off. But unfortunately, you can't stay here for too long. The air is so thin, around 1/3 of oxygen compared to sea level. So, you'll have to leave the top. You'll have to leave the summit of Everest. You're just here, just to reach the summit. So, here, grab yourself a reward. And you know what that reward is? Sleep. You have at least paid off a little bit of your sleep debt at this point, because by now you should be passed out. Well, literally sleeping. Well, not literally passing out, I meant, but passing out meaning sleeping. So, that is it for this dream imagination video. This was all improvised, and I hope you did enjoy it, so please give this video a thumbs up. It will be very appreciated. I hope this video gets released, 20 of them. And so, hopefully this makes you sleep, eases off your sleep debt, and pays off your balance. Your entire balance of your sleep credit card. So, you're out of the mountain. You've experienced Everest just from your bed. And now you can sleep peacefully. So, I'm gonna go now. Have a great night. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.